Hello guys, and welcome back to another reveal video. But it's something a bit different this time, on many levels. Plus the fact somehow again I've gotten a review as well, a comparison. Don't ask how these kind of things happen, but they do happen quite a few times now. But anyways, forget that part of it. This is quite different in the lines. It's not the average car to garage northeast kind of car, but it is mine. I have bought it. But it's been a bit of a gamble, a bit of a risk. And I'm not into gambles and risks, generally speaking, because there's too much money to be lost. And at this moment in time in my life, I don't want to be throwing money away. I want to be saving money, paying off the house, etc., stuff like that. I don't, obviously we've had a few holders and stuff like that. So at this moment in time, I want to be saving. Hence I've let quite a few of my cars go. To just literally all I've got at the minute. Another channel update is me humble little Honda CR-V, and I love it. That's the Mark II one, guys, in case you're wondering the Mark III. The Mark II, love it. And I've got my little ZX, which has been used once when I MOT'd it, and probably not even going to be used this month in August until September, when I'm going to Bamburgh Castle. I'll update with them in later videos, which I'm pretty ashamed of myself that car's been used twice in a year. I don't even think you can take this for an MOT as a use, so it's going to be used once. Terrible, I know, but it's been a very different and busy year this year. And there's ML, which I've taxed it this month, August, because we're going away in the caravan, and I am going to continue to keep it taxed over September. And I have enjoyed using that car, actually. I've been out and about in it a few places within reason for fuel costs. But yeah, what have I bought? A lot of you guys may give it the big thumbs down because it's too new. But a lot of you guys may give it the big thumbs up because I think it's one of the more loved modern cars. And I have to say it myself, I like it. I didn't just buy it because I liked it. I bought it because it was one of my customers' cars. Which means I've worked on this car for about, 2 years, more, maybe 3. From when the car was pretty new. It's been fully Lango guarded and rust proofed underneath straight away. So I know not corrosion-wise on a car this age isn't really something you'd be looking at, but it's something that I know is sorted. It's a beautiful spec, and it's something I've never had before. Shall I cut to the chase? I'm going to tell a lie. I've bought 2. Just for the crack. Yeah, bought 2. Let's have a look. What do you think it is? It's VAG. There's one clue. It's a VAG. It's got a DSG gearbox. Let's have a look. Yeah, a Skoda Yeti. I bought 2 of them. Nah, I'm just joking, guys. I bought one. Purely the other one's in for MOT and a service. But again, if I can get the opportunity to have 2 cars almost the same next to each other, why not? And we'll do a bit of a comparison, because one is a pretty lowish spec and one is a pretty highish spec. Now at this part of the video, probably pointless because you'll all just rewind to the end anyway. I want you to try and guess which one's mine, which one I've bought, and I'm not going to give any clues until the end, and then I'll explain why I bought it, etc. So we shall have a look. The first one, in fact guys, I'll tell you what, I especially wrote down a bit of paper with some facts and figures which I'm going to go and get. Bear with us. Right guys, I'm back. I just had a few facts and figures. So yeah, anyways, I'll tell you the truth. I don't like messing yous around. I bought the black one. That's the one I bought. 65 plate, late 2015. This is a 64 plate, late 2014. So there's basically a year between them. 2 very different specs. The black one, the one I bought, that's a Yeti SE L, which means SE leather. And this one is, I think, not far off bottom spec, but it's still alright spec. It's classed as a Yeti Outdoor S spec. And it's obviously the CR, which is common rail petrol. Nowadays, guys, yes, you get common rail petrols, direct injection, which they both are. Both 1.2 TSIs, but 2 very different 1.2 TSI engines. Yet, there's only 5 brake horsepower difference. This is 105 brake horsepower. This is 110. Both 4 cylinders. Like I've said, if there had been a 3-cylinder, I wouldn't have bothered. I wouldn't have touched it with a barge pole. But as you can see with this one, it's a more basic sort of spec. You've got like the grey plastic, like the black plastic at the bottom. Let's just stand back and do a bit of a comparison because I've never even done it myself. So yeah, a bit of a different kind of grille. It's more of a honeycomb grille. Still got front fogs. Obviously this one has just got basic headlamps and basic headlamp running lights. Headlamp running lights, daytime running lights. This one has got all the full bi-xenon headlamp washer moment, guys. We know Dan likes a headlamp washer moment, but this has got the full LED running lights, full HID, bi-directional, so when you turn the steering, these actually turn side to side, and the sensors on the suspension, they go up and down, so the lights follow you around corners and as you go up and down hills. So yeah, the front end, like I've said, that's got more of a honeycomb kind of grille. This has got like the slats. Bar that, has this got, I don't think this has got front parking sensors, but we'll have a look round the back. I'm just trying to think of see much differences. Obviously this has got the sensor on the windscreen at the top, so it's got the automatic lights and wipers, where this one doesn't. What else we got? Let's see. Bit of chrome, wait, that's different at the bottom. It's got like the 3 bits, that's got like some chrome thing. But bar that at the front end, that's about it really. Both got indicators on the mirrors. These are electrical folding in ones. They won't be. Let's have a bit look. Size of the wheels, they look similar actually. I don't even know what size these are. Let's have a look. 17s. Yeah, I bet you they're probably 17s. Yeah, 17s, but these are just like a basic kind of alloy. These are diamond cut alloy, but unfortunately when you get diamond cut you get a little bit of this going on with them, but they do clean up and look very nice. Sidewise, like I've said, apart from obviously this car's black so it doesn't really show, but like that's got colour coded sill covers where that's got the black. To be honest, I like this kind of stuff, I'm not gonna lie, because that's the whole purpose. The whole point of having areas like this which get bumped and scraped is so that they don't have paint coming off. Same with this, to stop people's doors bashing. This doesn't have that, because part of like the style pack on them. For me, I like that, but with higher spec cars you tend to find you win some and you lose some. Tinted windows, factory tinted. This hasn't got it. Moving out to the back, again, very different. This has got this like silver splitter thing which comes up a bit higher. This one comes up a bit lower. But this has got factory fit parking sensors, as you can see, all the way around. Same kind of exhaust, as they've both basically got the same kind of engine. Yeah, I do know that somewhere around 14, 15 they changed the reflection rules, and they tried to get the reflectors as low as possible. I mean, if you look on that scenic over there, they've got the reflectors like right down there. The lowest point they like to have the reflector seems to be better for obviously people with dip beam headlights, hence that dipped beam, the point down quite low. So the lower you can get the reflectors down. So as you can see, this has got the lower reflectors on. You might think that's nonsense, guys, but it is actually the truth. Yeah, apart from that, is there a great deal of difference exterior wise? There's no fancy carry on with the lights, they're all the same, they're not LED or nothing at the back. Yeah, I'll probably say that's the same. They're both sitting at about the same height. I do like the Yeti. Like guys, like do you agree? For a new car, I think the Yeti is a very retro but modern looking car. I do like the Mark 1 Yeti, the pre-facelift one, where they've got the extra, you might remember this, they've got like an extra like lamp here, that you've got like the headlamp which looks very similar to this, but they've got like a circular, I don't know what they even are, if they're fog lights or main beam or something. I do like the retro look of the Mark 1 Yeti at the front a little bit more, but as a whole, I absolutely love, especially the side profile of a Yeti. Quite a short little stumpy car, but a lovely, proper, what I keep going on about, box size. So the roof is as long as the bottom, the floor. Not this nonsense they're doing on all these new cars. I mean, to be fair, the Scenic's actually quite a good example. But what they're doing now on all these estate cars, they're having like nice and boxy, then they come down to the back and then they go like that, and you lose all that space which you need for fitting in large objects, dogs, stuff like that. So yeah, and obviously when you open the boot on them, they are just massive, which is really cool. There's some gear in the back of there, and this one be the same, but it's locked for some reason. Just bear with us. Let's hold on. Right. Yeah, so there we go. Pretty much the same, apart from this one's got a much deeper floor because it hasn't got a spare wheel, you see. But this one has been spec'd with a spare wheel, so you lose a bit of space, but you do get a full-size spare wheel, not a space saver. So what would you rather have? I think I'd rather have the spare wheel and lose a little bit of boot floor than that. Now what this one hasn't got, which this one, obviously this is a basic spec one, the boot's just pretty basic, but I will say I like quite a lot of features in the back of this one. Number one, these rails, which means you can hang stuff off them, and I believe you can get an extra tier to put in. But what I quite like, what Guy says to me, if you've got like a dog in the back, you can tie the leader. These are strong, I will say, you can put a lot of force on these. So when you open the boot, the dog can't jump out. Love that, thumbs up. They've both got a 12 volt output, but again, these little Skoda touches, you've got a boot lamp there anyway, but you've got a secondary one. Yeah, but press this button, pull it out, and it's a rechargeable LED torch. Then you put it back in and it self-charges. Because Skoda, why not? Like that, love it. If you remember the 3 Series E46 BMWs had that, and maybe some other ones in the glove box. So, yeah, we'll get to what's going on in the back of here later. But yeah, there's loads of nice little bits and bobs in the back of them. But like I said, I just love the big, boxy back ends of them. Like I've said, the roof line perfectly contrasts down to the floor line. None of this curved back nonsense, which you don't want on an estate car. Buy a coupe if you want a style, what they call like an aero deck, you know, like an aero back kind of thing. So yeah, that's the back ends. This one's more basic, as you've seen, but still very functional. And obviously it's got the 3 separate seats, which these have. We'll have a quick look in the back. As you can see, this one has got the lovely, I think this is a really nice touch, lovely leather interior, and it smells lovely. Like I've said, we've got all tinted windows in the back, unmarked roof lining, and like I've said, I'm just going to unplug these back seats. Basically, I've been using this, a lovely quality of leather, I will say, for a modern car. And this does something here, I noticed from in the boot. That pulls forward and turns into some kind of armrest. What we got down here, just a little cubby hole, rear ventilation. Don't know what that is, not sure. But yeah, rear electric windows, obviously. That does come down somehow, but I don't know what you do with it or what you press. But from in the boot, which I'll show you, it's like a little table which comes down. You can see there, you see? It's even got the black leather things. I think you must... Do you press something here? Ah, there. There we go. And like I said, they're all 3 separate seats, a bit like the original Citroen Picassos, you know? So we'll have a look here, I'll show you. There you go, you've got a nice centre armrest. And they've even gone to the extra bit of like this hard plastic. They've actually coated it with the matching black leather on here. So you actually do have a proper arm rest with a cup holder. I do like that, I will say. I'm not quite sure what you do to get it back in the position. You must have to pull these or something, but I don't know. But I just thought I'd show you that. Nice little touch. There is a few things I've bought which were missing on this car. It's just cost me nearly £150, and I'm not joking you. This little part of the front airbox, genuine VW one. A little cold air feed which attaches to this somewhere there. I'm not joking you. You'll all be laughing at this here, but I want this car to be 100% right. 2 little Jubilee spring clips, £25. Yes, £25, guys. And see them little screws in the bottom? I think they were something like £2 each. Ridiculous. And this little piece of rubber, 20 quid. Why? Because I like things to be right. Now, I just noticed it the other day. This side, this little bit of rubber here, was loose. So I've re-stuck it back on properly. But this side is missing altogether. Which this is a nice, genuine. And you might say, well, Dan, just get a bit of rubber from anywhere. No, I want it to be genuine, and I want it to be 100% right. I want this car to be perfect. So that's going on there. We'll look in the back of this one. I can see this one hasn't come off, but it's starting to come loose like the other one did. So yeah, with this one, again, it's still got electric back windows. Nice to see that, but a lot more basic in the back. It's just got the cloth seats. We'll see better at the other side because there's not a child seat in. So yeah, you've just got the cloth seats. I think this is a similar kind of thing. I'm not going to touch it because all the seat belts are plugged in and it's not my car to be touching stuff. But yeah, similar kind of thing, just without the tinted windows. Oh yeah, and it hasn't got that like nice kind of centre bit with the rear ventilation. You kind of lose that on it. But yeah, that's most of the back ends of them complete. So before we move on to the front, where I'm actually going to sit in the cars, I'm going to open the bonnets on them and just show you there's quite a lot of difference. You'd just think, well, 105 brake horsepower 1.2 TSI and a 110 brake 1.2 TSI. You'd think it was just a map difference or something, but no, this is back to the old days, like the old PDs where there was quite a lot of difference. But no, there's a lot of mechanical difference. So we'll start with the 105 brake horsepower. It's the same kind of CC, 1.2, but this, the 4-cylinder ones, this will just be an 8-valve, as you can see by the rocker cover, single cam. Still got a common rail, high pressure fuel pump, which runs off the cams like a diesel, which leads to a rail with high pressure injectors like a diesel. But the exhaust is at the front and the intake manifold is at the back. Oil filter is up here, it's just had a service, genuine man filter. I don't use rubbish. Like I said, it's been in for service and MOT. So that is that. Not much else to speak about. And then we'll go around to this one, which is 110 brake horsepower. As you can see, totally different. Notice that one, exhaust at the front, intake at the back. This one, exhaust at the back, intake at the front. And also, this has got what you call a charge cooler. So instead of an intercooler, where air goes through in the grill and cools it, this is water cooled, which cools the air via water coolant. This one, I'm not sure. Let's just do a quote. This may have an intercooler, or it might still have a charge cooler, but at the back. I don't know. Let's have a look. No, this has also got a charge cooler. My incorrection. So it's still got a charge cooler rather than an intercooler. So yeah, with this one, again 4-cylinder, but as you'll see, twin cams. 16-valve. 16-valve 1.2, same block. Well, same block, but totally different heads. Totally different heads. Just a 16 and 8, a bit like the Vauxhall years ago, the 1.9 Fiat engine. You got the 8-valve 120, 16-valve 150, same bottom end, same block, different heads. So that's with this one. Not a great deal else to speak about, really. That piping system, which I'll be getting to, is this piece here, which goes into there. So I've got that big box thing that goes on here. The pipe goes, that's the pipe, the 2 clips that go to it. So, before we get into that, we'll have a quick look on the interiors. So we'll jump into the SEL. So obviously this is the SE leather one. So first thing up, you see leather door cards, heated mirrors, but also electric folding ones. So if I get my key, I shall just demonstrate. There you go, fold in, which is a nice touch. I do admit, I do like my electric folding mirrors. And obviously they're heated as well. I have bought, yes, £50 guys, a set of genuine rubber Yeti mats. Because it's doing my head in this car, not having any mats in. It's my pet hate. So I'm just getting some cheapos, getting some genuine Skoda Yeti mats. I need to hoover that out first, and then they'll be going in, because I can't stand it. So, when we're inside, switch on, well, there, 75,000 mile. Nice modern dash, cruise control. All of the usual stuff. I've turned that down. Touchscreen system. Don't know what's on there. Bluetooth and all the rest of it. Nice climate control. Lovely, retro, easy to use. Dual zone left and right. Heated seats, which is nice to have. Aircon, which is ice cold. Automatic circulation. Stop start. Tyre pressure monitoring. Climate traction control. Just all the nice stuff in here. Obviously here, I have to watch what I'm doing here because I've got probably oil on my sleeve. I'm watching what I'm putting on there. So yeah, lovely DSG this one. And I'm telling you, the revs on these things when you're driving, it's unbelievable how quick they change. I think these are a 7, maybe an 8 speed. I don't know, don't quote us. But it's a very lovely, lovely gearbox. You can put it into sport, you can put it into manual mode. And it's unbelievable how quick it piles through those gears as you're driving. Lovely centre storage in there, which is nice to see. It's totally unmarked interior. It's absolutely lovely. Glove box, nothing in it. Unmarked plastics on here. This car is pretty much, I will say so myself, condition wise, nearly perfect. This one, that one won't have this bit centre here, and it's lovely to see on such a modern high-spec car to have a normal handbrake. Lovely, thumbs up to that. So yeah, like I've said, it's got all the usual governs in here, automatic lights. you won't have any headlamp leveling because it's, if you remember, it buys Xenons, does it all itself automatically. So yeah, just a lovely place to be. Automatic dip dim mirror with the sensors, LED lighting on the interior, all the way at the back, the extra lights. So yeah, that's this one anyways. Just thought I'd show you inside. Rather nice, which is why it's not my type of car I go for, which is why I went for it. So we'll have a look at the more basic one. Not by any means a bad car, and to be honest, you know what I'm like. I like me technology, but at times I sometimes think it gets a little bit too much, but there's nothing in there what I would class as too much. So on this one, you still get the electric heated mirrors, but not the folding, the manual. And obviously you've got on this one your headlamp leveling, but on the other one I had the switch for the dashboard illumination up and down. You don't get that option on this one because it's a lower spec one, and you also don't get the automatic lights or automatic wipers. But as for the dashboard, this one's only got 57,000 on. The dashboard's exactly the same, steering wheel's the same, but unfortunately you don't get cruise control on the stock. Much more basic sound system and climate control system. Not that I disapprove of that, because I love just the old-fashioned fan control, temperature, aircon, done. Not wrong with that. And this is a 6-speed manual with a manual handbrake, tyre pressure monitoring, but no stop start. Again, not a bad thing. So I'm not pulling the actual lower spec car down. No automatic dip dim mirror, etc, etc. But what I want to run through, we all know automatics are higher tax. This is the big difference between the 8 valve and the 16 valve engine, you see. So this one, even though it's the manual, which is cheaper tax than the automatic, is £210 tax. Whereas that one, the black one, it's automatic, so pollutes a bit more, is only, I've got it written down here, £160 tax. Now, if that one had been the manual, it would be the 30, 20 or free road tax. It's just the fact it's a DSG that it's 160, but this one's the manual, so if you got one of these in an automatic, you could be pushing nearly 300 quid. Just for it being the 8 valve, lower powered engine, you could be pushing 300 quid tax versus, so that is a big point. The stop-start plays a lot of it on the tax, and before anybody says it's a new tax rule, it isn't. That starts at 17, that's a late 15 car, so that's got nothing to do with it. So yeah, the tax thing is a big hit. So like I said, that's 110, this is 105, but there's a lot of it in the pollution side of it. 111 and 109 top speed, I don't even know why I'm saying that, because I don't particularly care. But yeah, both TSI, which are direct injections, common rail, and they're both turbocharged engines. The TSI used to be involved turbo supercharged. Not quite sure if that's a thing anymore. I think they're just turbo, but they've kept I think it was the TFSI. I don't know. I got mixed up. So yeah, so that's those. Yeah, somebody's waiting at the wall there, so I'm just going to press pause, go and see him, and I'll come back and finish this one off. Sorry about that, guys. I've just had a customer in. I'll quickly show you what I've just bought, but I haven't bought it for any other reason than one. Unfortunately, it's going to get scrapped. Anyways, there's your comparison. There's some information about the two cars as a comparison. Now, like I've said, this is a two-part video, but I'm going to make it into a one-part video on here and explain to you. So we'll get out of this car, because this is like nothing to do with anything. Why I bought this one. This car has been serviced by us from practically new. We've always used the 020 C5 oil, which is very, very expensive. It's always had it. Spark plugs done, all the usual air filters, blah, 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 everything. Never been abused at all. As you can see, I will go as far to say, I think you'll all agree, it's faultless. It hasn't got a mark anywhere. And any marks, actually, I've just spotted one little chip in the door there. But bar that, it is what I would say, quote/unquote, showroom condition. Just about is. Doesn't need cleaned inside. Well, a little bit of a hoover on the footwell, but once I get the mats and the little bits like that bit of rubber missing and all the rest of it, them bits of pipe work, yes, okay, once that's done, it is perfect, but not quite so perfect, as this car developed a random misfire. Well, saying misfire, just basically, it was running rubbish, right? Like terrible, like to the point where you thought it was broken. It was chuttering, it was rattling. Everybody was saying it's the valve, it's the timing chain. This one doesn't have a chain. The other one has a chain. That's a two difference as well. That's a chain. This is a belt. I'll just quickly show you. Seeing all the chains rattling, it's out of timing and all this nonsense in here. The belt. So anyways, I got the phone call 4 months ago saying the car's broke down somewhere near Scarborough. RAC man's looked at it, he thinks the belt's jumped the tooth and it's knackered the engine basically. So I was just like, I said to my dad, we don't, as you know, we don't get involved with these kind of things commercially wise, like retail, like charging people out for them. We don't do timing belts and we don't do clutches or nothing like that, bar on my own cars and stuff like that. So anyways, it went to, I'm not going to name garages here. I don't think this will be fair. So it went to one garage locally, a good garage, I will say. They looked at it, they changed the spark plugs, I've got the invoices, they changed spark plugs, Iridium ones, genuine NGK ones that they fitted, good quality. The fuel filter, I think in the tank or something. And something else, whatever. Still, no good. Timing code coming up, cam and crank, coloration. Basically, the cam and the crank aren't meeting up, but they claimed they've checked the timing. I don't know if they've checked the timing, but who knows. Then it went to Skoda, main dealer Skoda. They took a look at it, timing's fine. But as soon as you start it up, running absolutely terrible and loads of fault codes coming up. So again, they binned it. So then it went to an it went to a VAG specialist. VAG, in case you don't know, Skoda, Audi, Volkswagen, all that went to a specialist. They then changed I'll show you, high pressure fuel pump, because I've said it's like a common rail diesel, works like a diesel. So they put a brand new high pressure fuel pump down there. You can see it, a Continental one, genuine VW one that is. Then they also changed the rail down there and the injectors. They also changed the in-tank pump, which is in the back here. I'll show you. Bearing in mind, guys, as you're probably quite aware now, there's a lot of money being spent here. So they put a pump in. There's the original one out the tank, which I'm still actually going to keep a hold of that. So there's that. There is a genuine VW. There's the injectors, like diesel high pressure ones. I don't know if the actual there's the high pressure fuel pump, which can be problematic, and it is a genuine VW one that's been fitted, and some various pipes. So that's that. They've done all that. I don't know what these even are. Boxes of some kind, and it was still running terrible. So the guy was sick by now, so it went to an auto electrician's. A good auto electrician, I will say. And he turned around and he went, I'm not going to do anything with it because all the codes are saying, they changed the cam sensor as well at the first garage. So it's had a cam nuke. So everything to do with the timing. Timing checked, all this stuff, nothing. So when the engine seems to be running, it's out of time. But when the engine is stationary, it's in time. So yeah, they've somewhere down here, there must be a cam sensor. They've changed that as well. Hammed it round. So they've done all that. So anyways, the guy at this point was just written off by it. And I was even sort of like, wow, there's been a lot of people on at this car now. And he was just done. Like, I must admit I had nothing to do with this car at all. And it was getting to the point where the guy was just, it was every place he took it to, it was costing him more and more and more and more money to recover it, like 40 quid here, 50 quid there, because it wouldn't drive, But where it started off was he asked me, the final stop was at the auto electrician's. It was quite a distance away, I'll probably say 7 mile away from where we live here. And he says, Dan, I don't have insurance anymore, because he's had to go out and buy a new car, like a 1920 plate Fiesta. How much was one of them? I don't know, 10 grand or something, because he's not had this car for 4 months. And he couldn't trade it in anywhere because it's not running. So he's had to go out and buy another car. And he says, Dan, my car's ready to pick up. But he says, I haven't got insurance for it. And he said, I don't want to have to pay recovery again. He says, is your trade insurance cover? Yes, it covers us to drive it as long as it's for business. And he was paying me to come in my time at work across to the auto electricians to drive it back. And I tried driving it, and it was very dangerous. I've driven lots of cars I maybe shouldn't have on the roads, and managed to limp them home. Not this time. This was terrible. It cut out straight away as soon as I went to pull away. Being an automatic, to restart, you've got to put it into park, press your foot on the brake and turn the key, which is a very scary thing to do. Like when I pulled out the junction from the auto electricians, bang, slab side in the middle of the road, double-decker bus coming towards us, blaring his horn, and it wouldn't start either. It doesn't start up straight away. It was chugging, popping and all this, and I thought, oh right, here we go. In the end, I bought it. We tried it a little bit and it was just too dangerous, and he had to spend money again getting it recovered home on his drive. He says, so here we are, 4 months, car stuck on the drive. Shall I name a figure? I will. Nearly £1,500 out of pocket. I reckon that's probably more than that if he adds it up properly. He was absolutely fed up. He says, I'm just going to advertise it for scrap. I was like, well, I said, it's quite a new car, mate. Like I said, I wouldn't be scrapping it. I think you just had enough. So anyways, he said, I'll put it on Gumtree, eBay and that, and let it go. But he doesn't know what he's doing with all that stuff. And you know what it's like with these people. A lot of people will be coming along going, ooh, I know what it is. It's like a little sensor somewhere. They'll buy the car off them for quite a lot, because it's still worth money, get it home, change the sensor, and then when they get the engine stripped down, they'll find it's like burnt out a valve or knacked something, and they'll be straight at his door crying, wanting their money back. Which, trust us people, I've sold cars before, spares or repairs with issues, and people have come back and went, oh, the gearbox is knackered, the engine's broke. It's like, well, you've bought it spares or repairs. Like, that was the whole point. The car wasn't running, and he didn't want any fuss. And I said, look, I might be tempted to have it if I can do a bit of checking round with it and stuff. Keep it myself, give it to my partner, or just simply flip it if I can get it running. But as you can imagine, guys, this ain't a 500 quid car any day of the week. It's not a £1,000 car any day of the week either. So it's a long way off what I spend. As you know, most of my cars are not very expensive. So to me, to be spending more money than I spend on any of my other cars perfectly running and immaculate condition, to be spending quite a lot of money on a car that's knackered, is a gamble. And I don't like gambles. But in this instance, I thought, do you know what? Go for it, Dan. It's got to be worth something, even if I buy it at the right price. That interior is immaculate, and the only thing is, the Yetis are a massively popular car. Just in general, the Yeti, regardless if it's 4x4. By the way, before some years ago, no, it's not 4x4. You don't want the 4x4. The high tax, they're a nightmare to work on. Right at the back of the engine, where the transfer box and everything is, utter nightmare. The Haldex clutch at the back. And for how often you need four-wheel drive, there's no point. You're probably better off with these, where they've got nice high ground clearance, put some decent tyres on, and they'll still do just as, well, not just as good, but almost as good off-road. So actually, I'm pleased it's not the 4x4. Before everybody says, oh, it's not the 4x4. Don't want it to be, because what people want nowadays is exactly what this car is, which is the actual, I'm telling you now, at the end of the video, the main reason I bought it. Number one, everybody hates diesels now. I laugh at them, because apart from the ML, all my cars are diesel. Diesel is the way forward if you want to actually have money in your pockets and not spend a fortune. Because now petrols are more complicated than anything else. Like these, I was saying, direct injection petrols. So, everybody wants petrol now. Tick. Petrol. Nobody wants a 2 litre anymore. Anything 2 litre or above, it's too big, too thirsty. Even though it's not. But everybody now, this is what the government says, everybody has to have a petrol. Well, it's actually electric, but unless you're an actual idiot, you wouldn't buy an electric car. You would get a petrol car, which is the next step. So, you got to have petrol. Can't be 2 litre. No, not 2 litre. Too expensive to run. So, it's a 1.2. So, it's a petrol, small 1.2. And, believe it or not, automatics. Smallish cars with small engines with an automatic are absolutely sky high in price. I watch a lot of people who do proper car salesmen online, and at the moment is the best time to have an automatic car if you want to sell it. Trying to buy one, prices are up here. He went through everything and he showed you the differences on smaller cars which are automatic, how high are the prices in demand for an automatic versus a manual. So there, petrol engine, small engine, 1.2, but high output, 110. It feels more like a 2 litre. It really does fly when it runs right. And it's an automatic. And it's the popular sized car, which has got a massive following to start with, a Yeti. So before any of you go, it's not the 4x4, it's not the diesel. From a point of view of what the car's worth, if I decide not to keep it and move it on, People don't want the diesels. People don't want the 4x4s in a way because they're too high to tax, higher to insure, much more expensive to maintain, much more problematic and unreliable. So yeah, so petrol, tick. Small engine, tick. An automatic, tick. A car that's massively popular, space-wise, everything, tick. Cheap tax, tick. Cheap insurance, which it will be for being a 1.2, tick. Top spec, right colour, all the tinted windows, tick. It's kind of every box ticked to what you'd want. Like me personally, I like a diesel. I would like the 2 litre diesel. Yeah, the 4x4, cool, fun, but they're a nightmare. So yeah, but from a sales / point of view, as in an asset to buy, to take a risk, that's what made us go for it. It's got every box ticked. Full service history, tick. All the big jobs done, tick, like I've mentioned. So we're going through what's been done. I've done another oil and filter change because it's been messed around with and I don't know what's been done. So I've changed it. We're very expensive. It's actually green. Yes, this colour. Green 0.20 High-spec C5 oil with a genuine oil filter. I've also changed the air filter. The previous garage changed the spark plugs, so they're brand new. The previous garage changed the in-tank filter and the main fuel filter. I've got a pollen filter sat in the boot, so it's actually had a full service. All of the brakes are brand new. I mean, it's been stood 3 or 4 months, but as you can see, brand new brakes. All good tyres. The car, I think it's MOT till November. It's both keys, 2 owners, I think. So yeah, it's got everything that I want. So what am I going to do with it? What I'm going to do with it, straight up, when I do get it to run sort of okay, it's not charging at the minute. Again, what is very difficult here, I'm trying to chase the tails of other garages and places that have been at it. I'm doing well up to now. It wasn't charging, and it had the original stop-start battery from 2015 on. So first port to call, it was like 150 quid for a proper stop-start Bosch battery. Even though that isn't just going to fix the fault. Something's going on. I don't know if the alternator's packed in. I don't know if these little fuses in here, which go to these, or something. Anyways, it'll go back to the auto electricians for that. Like I've noticed, some garage who's been at it hasn't even bothered putting all this on, which has cost me, like I've said, 100 and odd quid. But it needs to be done. So now that'll be all done. Like I said, fully serviced. Everything done that it needs done. I'll show you the filter somewhere down there. Can you see it or not? Yeah, down there. The silver filter. So it's not charging, and what I am going to do is have a look at, take the timing cover off, check the timing myself. But to be fair, when it turns over and ticks over, I'm not going to start it up because I'm going to keep this video going to let you know my findings and how and what I do. But I have spoke personally to a few people who've checked it, and they guarantee me the timing is bang on. And the fact I know the timing is bang on, I'm hoping there's not going to be engine damage, but we shall see. I'm not going to give any more information on this video, and if I do fix it, depending on what it is, I may or not put it public, because at the end of the day, I've been honest enough as it is with it. There's some things that you should say and there's some things that you shouldn't. So at the end of the day, if I fix it and it's something I want to keep private, I will, and I'll keep it myself, or I may decide to sell it. I do a lot on this channel, and I do say a lot. Like I said, don't talk money, so don't ask what I paid for it. Please don't ask publicly, if you may be interested in buying it, what I'll take for it. Send us a message. My number is in the description below. It's a cheap pay-as-you-go phone, guys, so it will take a while for us to get back to you. So yeah, where am I going to stand with this? Obviously, I need to get it fixed. I need to get it sorted. People have been messing on with the booster pack and that, so I need to have a look and see what on earth's going on with the charging issue first, and then I need to get on with this timing issue. Like I've said, if there's any damage, it'll simply not run ever again. It'll be a new engine job, second-hand engine, but I don't think it's going to be to that extreme, because when it behaves itself, it purrs like a kitten. It's like brand new. So I do believe it's something daft somewhere, and I do believe it may be just a case of spending. Like I've said, I'm quite happy to spend considerable money on it, but it's just finding out what it is. But we shall see when we find out. That will come in a second video. I hope you've enjoyed it. That's all. I've been on here for 40 minutes now. Bit of a comparison, bit of an update. What do you think? Do you think it's any good? If I get it sorted, would you be interested? If you are interested in it, drop us a comment below. But like I said, do not just ask how much have I paid, how much will I accept. I will speak to you privately, or I'll send you a message privately. I don't know what I'm doing with it yet. If it starts up, if I get it sorted and I know it's absolutely bang on, not going to cause any problems, I'll be happy to let anybody take it. But at the same time, when I start using it properly, I may actually, because I really like it. I've actually bought it genuinely. I fancy giving it to either Holly or keeping it myself. But if I can get rid and put the money towards getting a few jobs on the house sorted, which we're desperate for, that may be the way, because the bathroom's desperate to get done, the kitchen's desperate to be done, the conservatory's got a crack in the plastic stuff on the roof. It's just one of them things where I could keep it, but is it going to be any better than the Astra and the CRV when the house is absolutely crying out for maintenance to be done? As some of you may understand yourself, when you have a house, it's just cost. The costs are mounting up for work that I need to do. The boiler keeps playing up, so I'm worried that at the beginning of winter that packs in altogether. And it would be nice just to have a little bit of money to one side to get a new boiler. You know what it's like. So sometimes, yes, it would be nice to keep the car, but other times I'm not sure what I'm doing. I just thought I would take it on as a project, take a risk, but a risk enough to know that if I sell it for parts, I can sort of get my money back. I probably wouldn't. I'll probably make a loss, because I'm not good at stripping cars down and selling bits. I can't be bothered. So if I reach the end of the line with it, I may just either auction it or advertise it as spares or repairs and take the risk of idiots coming back at us. But I will be noting down, like, as a mechanic, what I genuinely think of my findings, not just, oh, it doesn't run or something like that. So yeah, so if any of you are interested in buying it the way it is, buying it when it's running, naturally there'll be a big difference in price between buying it now to buying it when it's running, because I've already spent quite a lot of money on just what I've spent: the full service items, the battery, them bits from Volkswagen, the pipes, the rubber, the mats, there's more stuff, like I've said, with this charging fault that could need alternators, charging modules, anything yet, I don't know. So we'll leave it there. That's enough going on. But let us know in the comments below what you think, blah blah blah. Anything that you want to say, please feel free to leave a comment. If you haven't already done so, guys, this is 40 minutes of my time I could have been on trying to look at the car, because I've only had it a few days. You know, I spend this time to make the videos for you guys, so hit the like button and the subscribe button. It's free of charge, you know. And if you want to help out in any way, shape or form, you just know how to. I've got buy me a coffee below. Super thanks. It all goes a long way to help getting more interesting projects like this. Let us know as well in the comments, do you find it boring as getting these newer cars? And don't worry, I'm most certainly not going to be stockpiling up 65 plate cars, because that's just not within my budget. But do you think I'm spoiling the channel, putting a bit newer stuff on? Do you not want to see that? Is it boring? Yes, I would like to get loads of older stuff, but I can't really use older stuff on a daily basis. Well, I could, but I don't really want to. What's the kind of content you like? Just let us know. Leave the comment below, guys. And I thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you next time.